today's video we will be talking about rocket motors. I am very excited to bring you this video. I'll be talking from A all the way up to level 1 high power rocketry eyes. We're going to help you choose what engine to pick. First up, let's get something important out of the way. If you're not sensible enough to handle these rocket motors, then now that we've said that, let's go from A to I. First up here, we have an A83. Next, we have a B, then a C, then a D, then an E, then an F, and a G, which we would have for our new rocket. From there, we go to an H, and then we have 2 I's. Now, keep in mind, every single time that we go up in a level, it doubles in power. When dealing with rocket motors, you must familiarize yourself with the NAR and EEE safety guidelines for rockets and rocket motors. Remember, safety first, people. Let's start off with load power from A to C. The rocket that we have is the Viper. I find that for this rocket, A's are a bit underpowered. However, this rocket runs beautifully with B's and C's. This rocket is 44 centimeters long and it flew 250 meters with a C engine. Let's take a look at a typical B engine rocket launch.
3, 2, 1.
Now we move on to the D. For this, we made our own rocket that's carbon fiber. It's called something. It was 42 centimeters long. I found that we made this a bit too short as it is even shorter than the Viper, but we needed a bit more power to get off the rail.
2, 1. Uh-oh.
Another rocket that used the D was the Red Nova. This is 56 centimeters long. I found with this that it was a bit too unstable. Now we move into medium power. This is where I start to get really excited. I launched this at National Launch Day for NZRA. We have the E and the F engine. For this, we made a rocket called Nothing. This went 920 meters up, almost beating the height record for F engines. This worked very well with F, however it still worked very decently with E's.
Sky is clear, range is clear, going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This rocket is 60 centimeters long and it is carbon fiber. We also experimented with a tail cone.
Fly on an F. We should see good performance here. Sky is clear. Range is clear. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wow.
Now I would have a G. However, we are ordering it because it will be for our next rocket. The G skirts the line between medium power and high power. Some Gs you need to get level 1 certification. However, on some other Gs that are less powered, you don't need to get level 1 certification. Now we move on to high power. This is an H100. I use this to get level 1 certification. For all of these engines, you will need level 1 certification. This is an I-140. After that, we move on to a really big motor, which is the I-280DM. We use this to attempt to get the height record. Now, this is the rocket that we used. As you might already know if you've seen our other videos, it's called Hard to Handle. This rocket is 1 meter long and it went over 2,800 meters high. The width of this was 40 millimeters.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you are enjoying this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Also tell me in the comments what engine you're buying. Now let's take a look at motor designation. I'll start off with the A83. The A is its class of engine. This is defined by Newton seconds. The 8 is basically how much power it has. And the 3, which is after the dash, is the delay before an ejection charge, because you need an ejection charge to eject the parachute. Let's take a look at the C engine. This is a C12-8. The C is its class, the 12 is its general power inside of the class, and then the 8 is the delay between firing the ejection charge. Let's take a look at the F engine. This is an F32-8T. It's an F class and it has 32 Newton seconds, which is about mid-range for an F. Then we've got an 8-second delay, but what is the T? It's simply the color of the propellant when it comes out the engine. The T in this case stands for Blue Thunder. Now let's take a look at this beast of an engine. This is the biggest engine that we've ever flown. It's the I-280-DM. The DM stands for dark matter. It's bright and sparkly and is very good for shows. However, it does not perform that well compared to other propellant colors. For more specifics on an engine, go to thrustcurve.org. It helps you out a lot when choosing engines. From the A to I range, I would recommend these 3 companies, or technically 2. First up, we've got Estes. These 2 engines are Estes. They work decently well. Next, we move on to QJet. These work very, very well for low power. QJet only goes up to about D engines. Now we move on to Aerotech. These are very, very good engines. We always prefer to use Aerotech. Once you've ordered an engine from Estes, this is what you'll get. Here we have our packet, which comes with an engine or multiple of them, and then you get a few plugs and igniters. We'll talk about them later in another video. Now let's take a look at what you get from QJet or Aerotech. Here is your packet. We've got a cool graph on the front, and we've got our motors, and inside this black tube, we've got our igniters. Now let's take a look at what you would get from Aerotech for high power rocketry. This is a beast of an engine. It includes a motor, a vial of black powder if you want an ejection charge, and also an igniter cable. You can see here that we've got a thrust curve. With these engines, you have to be really careful while handling it. Let's take a look at what the rocket motor's fuel is made of. We'll start off with estes. This has a cardboard casing, it's filled with black powder, and it uses clay for its plug. The black powder in estes rockets is made of potassium nitrate, sulfur, and charcoal. Now let's take a look at Aerotech. They use composite fuel. It's made up of ammonium perchlorate, rubber, and a metal fuel, which is generally aluminium. This composite fuel is up to 3 times more powerful. Also, it burns from the top instead of the bottom. Its casing is reinforced plastic, and these engines can be thinner for the same power. Now let's look at the diameter of these engines. This is very important while you're still in your design phase. What are their regular sizings? Well, this is 18 millimeters in diameter. Then we move on to 24 millimeters. Then at the G, we would have 29 millimeters. And we've got 38 millimeters for high power. The engines keep growing bigger as you go up the levels of high power rocketry. While choosing an engine, be wary that different companies can have different diameters even for the same class of engine. For example, this engine is a D. This is 18 millimeters in diameter. However, on estes, there are some engines that are 24 millimeters in diameter for a D. Now let's move on to the concept of single-use versus reloadable. DMS stands for single use and RMS stands for reloadable. For low power, you won't need to worry about this concept. However, from there on out, you might need to worry about it. At this level, we are not using reloadable engines. Be careful when an open rocket and selecting a motor that you choose DMS or SU. Both of them stand for single use. Now let's take a look at total impulse. This is basically how much power you will get out of your engine. It's characterized by the amount of newtons from your engine times the time that your engine will burn for. Looking at the total impulse, we can see that the maximum amount of total impulse in newton seconds for the A is 2.5. At the B, it's 5, and at C, it's 10. You can see that it is doubling. So for low power rocketry, you go up to 20 newton seconds. For medium power, we go up to 80 newton seconds. The class keeps on going, and I've even seen an O rocket being launched. We move on to specific impulse, not to be confused with total impulse. Specific impulse is basically a measurement of how efficient your engine is. It is the amount of force that your engine generates times the time, except you divide that by weight. Keep in mind that it is weight, not mass. Therefore, these figures help you select your rocket motor. That's it for today on rocket motors. I hope you learned something new. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe. It would help me out a lot. Tell me in the comments what engine you bought if you did buy one.